Hello, I'm Richard Gallagher. I'm a professional speaker. I go to schools talking about how to study and a number of other topics. If you want to contact me, my email address is irishturtle, without the last E, at AOL.com, and my website is studyskillscentral.com. The first few videos were how to study, fill in the blank, get the answers. This I call how to study part 2, a little more critical thinking. I've never had a job where I had to fill in a blank to get a paycheck. School seems to be, there is the right answer. Albany is the capital of New York. True, false, black, white, that's it. You can't argue, that's the way it is. Well, students, outside of school, there's plenty of second, third, fourth right answers. Business people are not looking for the same cookie cutter kind of person coming out of school. They're looking for somebody who can think a little bit differently, what people say outside the box. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. I'd like you to think of a color, any color at all. I'd like you to think of a flower, any kind of flower. Think of a piece of furniture, an animal in a zoo, and a fast food restaurant. Now for color, were you thinking red or blue? A flower, you were thinking a rose. Piece of furniture, maybe a chair. Animal in a zoo, lion or tiger. Fast food restaurant, McDonald's. If you gave 3, 4, or 5 of those, businesses aren't looking for you. Okay, now you have you've been a product of advertising because those things are in front of you all the time. But people in the business world are looking for people who think a little bit differently. They come up with other answers. So I'm going to give you one story. I do a whole lot of different stories that have more than one right answer, but I'm going to give you one that I thoroughly like this. Way back years ago, King Arthur and the Round Table's time, there was a king who wanted to marry off his daughter, his 15-year-old daughter. So on the birthday, he invited all the eligible bachelors to a big party. At the end of the night, she couldn't pick, he couldn't pick. So he told all the bachelors, come back next year. Whoever has the best present will get the hand of my daughter in marriage and will be king of all these lands. One guy says to his 2 buddies, outside of town, 3-day ride, there's this 100-year-old oak tree. Let's meet there before the party, compare our presents, and see what we have. The guys say, great. They go out. A year later, less 3 days, they meet under the tree. And the first guy, he said, what did you get there? What did you get there? And he said, I went to a faraway land, to a strange bazaar, and I picked up a telescope. Does that sound like a good present? But it was a magic telescope. You could look through that telescope. Curvature of the earth didn't mean anything. You could see anything you wanted to see. Good present? Of course it is. So they asked the other guy, what did you get? He said, I also went far away to a strange land, to a bazaar, and I picked up an apple. Of course, it's a magic apple. When you bite into the apple, it will cure any ills in your body. Good present? Of course. They asked the other guy, what did you get? He said, I also went to a faraway land, to a strange bazaar, and I picked up a carpet. Of course, it's a magic carpet. You can get on that carpet and ride in half an hour as far as a horse could in 3 days. Now, that's a good present. So they said to the guy with the telescope, why don't you see what the king's doing? So he looks through it. He looks. And he can see the king is kneeling down at his daughter's bedside. All the doctors of the lands are around her. It's fairly obvious the girl's dying. What can they do? What can they do? They can give her the apple. But the apple, they're three days away by horseback. But they have the magic carpet. So the 3 of them get on the carpet, they come up, give the apple to the king, she gives it to the daughter eats it, and she lives. My question is, who should get the hand of the daughter in marriage? Now if you say the telescope, you'd be right, because they wouldn't have known if they didn't look through the telescope. If you say the carpet, I guess you'd be right, because they couldn't have gotten there and helped her without the carpet. Or the apple, because without the apple she would have died. So any one of those are right answers. I like those, but I've been given 2 more answers from kids that I like better. One said the apple. Now why the apple? Because when all is said and done, the guy with the telescope can still use a telescope. The guy with the magic carpet can still use the magic carpet. The guy who gave the apple gave it all, gave everything. There's nothing left. Like that answer. This one I like better. The girl who told me this said, I don't know which of the 3 it is, but whichever one of those 3 said to meet under the 100-year-old oak tree, the one who started the whole thing, should get her hand in marriage. I like that one. Well, I have a lot of stories like that with more than one right answer to it. And by the way, if there's teachers watching this, I love this because it drives the kids nuts because they like black and white, that's the answer. Well, there's plenty of other answers out there. Thank you for paying attention. Hope to see you on another tape.